Hey, how's it going?
It's
Good.
going. Andy Herman joins us. Andy, our writer here at Cheesehead
right.
TV, the man, the myth, the legend. Andy, okay.
Rashan Gary.
Now, Rashan
Gary.
Gary is not someone that was widely mocked to the Packers. I think you would agree. But
Agreed.
certainly a guy who can help them on defense. What's your take here?
Yeah, elite athleticism. Let me start kind of with the good points first.
Right.
So fits the system perfectly. He can play outside. He can play inside. He can do a little bit of everything. Mike Pettin's going to be able to use him in a variety of different ways. I think he fits really well with with the Smiths, I should say, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith. I think the big question mark, of course, is just the production at Michigan. For every single athletic trait that he has, and he fits everything. He fits the spark score they like. He fits the RAS or the elite athletic traits that they like. But you would have loved to see just maybe a little bit more production. You had a half a sack in 2016, right. 5.5 in 2017, 3.5 in 2018. A total of 9.5 sacks over the course of his career at Michigan. For a top 12 pick with this elite athleticism, you would ideally like to see a little bit more production than that. I kind of equated him to the I shouldn't do that. I kind of equated him to the Clinton Dix of defensive linemen. And that's just
that makes a lot of sense.
You see all the production. He has all the talent in the world. But at times, you just want a little bit more out of him. And I think Mike Pettin, the new defensive staff are going to be in a position to get him going and make him that top player that he has all the talent in the world to be. From an athletic standpoint, not that different from Ed Oliver, but there's some question marks here.
Now, to me, it's interesting that you mentioned a couple times there Mike Pettin and his scheme. It sure seems like you look at him and his somewhat, lack of production in Michigan. He was helped a lot. The production he did have was via scheme. Like, if you watch like the breakdowns I watched, there's a lot of him coming free because of scheme. There's not a ton of him winning one-on-one. No. Is that a question of like trying to hone maybe you're talking that elite athleticism, and obviously when you're picking this high, you want upside. You want a guy who can continue to grow and maybe grow into being that dominant player. Do you think maybe that's part of the thinking here, that you can coach up those tools that are available?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a 100% moldable ball of clay, and you're hoping that that's going to amount to something. I guess the one thing I would say when I'm picking at pick 12, I don't necessarily just want that upside. I want production to match it. So I think that's why maybe I'm a little bit underwhelmed here. But yes, going back to what you said about him being schemed open, this is a player that played with Chase Winovich. He played with Devin Bush. He had very strong talent surrounding him. And I think he had a little bit of a benefit from that as well. But again, the traits are off the charts. I think that's kind of what you have to take it as it is at this point. He's an elite player with elite athleticism, but the production just wasn't there in Michigan.
Your disappointment is palpable. Is there another player you would have preferred here at the 12th spot?
Yeah, I mean, a couple. And I always knew they probably weren't going to go Brian Burns, but Brian Burns is a guy that I would have really liked there. I just think he would have given them a flavor that they didn't have, to a guy that could bend the corner and rush the passer, right. A real true quarterback hunter. I think that Gary's kind of a little bit of what they have already, especially in a guy like Zadarius Smith. So I think that's a question mark. But again, these are the type of players that Mike Pettin has wanted. He has wanted the guys who can get to the quarterback from interior rushes, using stunts, using games. And the first thing I said, and I say it again, is he fits the scheme very, very well. This is the type of player that they've wanted to use in that system. As nickel pass rushers, as a 4-down line, what you can do with a Zadarius Smith and a Rashan Gary and a Kenny Clark and a Mike Daniels.
He's part of that equation where they're going to mix and match. They're going to bring bodies. They're going to try to bring waves at the quarterback, and not necessarily like when you're talking about with Burns. Okay, we're going to line you up outside. We're going to count on you to win one-on-one with speed or with your moves or whatever. It really is kind of a fit within, because Zadarius Smith is going to kick inside on certain downs. They're going to use multiple combinations. Gary is there to complement that, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. And he's going to be somebody that does complement those players. Again, you can rush from a variety of different ways using stunts in games. And Devin Bush today, Devin Bush, when asked directly, he said, you should take Rashan Gary before me because that's how impressed he was with Rashan Gary. So, again, there's a lot to like here. It does leave me a little bit underwhelmed because I would have liked to seen a little bit more on tape of him using those dominant traits to succeed at a Big Ten school against Big Ten linemen. And I think, Aaron, you really said it best. You just don't see enough of him winning one-on-one. You can find guys that you can scheme with athleticism. That shouldn't be a problem if that's what you're trying to do. But trying to find a guy who can win one-on-one consistently in the NFL at pick 12, that's what I want. And the talent, the potential's there. It just remains to be seen how high of an upside he can actually reach with the talent he has.
Well, there you go. Andy Herman breaking it down for us at the Cheesehead TV Draft Watch Party. Andy, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again later in the night. Whenever the Packers picked, I mean, the reports, they're trying to jump up from 30, so stay by your Skype.
Don't fall asleep, Andy.
Because we will be coming back to you whenever the Packers make their next pick.
I'll be on standby. Got my energy drink working. We're all good.
It's Green Bay in the house.
All right, thanks a lot, Andy. We'll talk to you soon.